Tavishi, uh, I encouraged you to come here to Atlanta, and I just felt that someone as enterprising and young as you should germinate uh, in the right place uh, at perhaps the right time. And the right time is whenever you choose it. And like I've told you earlier, that you should flow with the moment, uh, take the day and the time as it happens. So I did read up on you to some extent, and I felt that you have a lot of go in you. Uh, you're very enterprising, and what's important is that the sector or the business that you have chosen, wellness, is something very important today to all of us, and especially post-pandemic, where stress levels have risen, uncertainties in life have risen, and with uncertainty comes uh, tension, um, because um, when you don't know what's going to happen in the future, you tend to imagine a lot, and it plays up to it. So, with that prospect, I feel that whatever you want to do, you need resources, you need support, and you need an environment in which to flourish. And that's why I encourage you to come here. So, having come here, you tell me, how do you feel?
I feel great. In one word, I feel that my exposure is much more than it was before, and I see a lot of growth. Um, Being with you, talking to you in me, and I feel that it's only going to go up. So, thank you for giving me the opportunity first of all, and I'm just looking forward to more and more interactions with you and with the other delegates.
Right. Um, so, like you've seen me when I'm even taking a taxi or an Uber, and I start talking to them. Uh, like I told you, it's like when you exchange thoughts, uh, the whole process of learning, the process of development is multiplied. You know, it's kind of until the wheels don't turn, a motor does not move forward, a car does not move forward. In the same way, until you don't uh, respond with people, exchange your views, your ideas, etc., you yourself don't evolve. And like we've discussed earlier, nothing stationary. Other than that, that evolved fish in the aquarium to seem to have found his place in life. And you could all of us felt while looking at that fish that he said, "You guys are all crazy. You're gone bonkers." All right. Otherwise, you will found the whale shark when these divers came in, right? He came in also and said, "Hey, I am the show. I am the attraction, not you guys." Right? So, in the same way, the environment speaks to you, and you need to pick up from the environment. And what's important is now that you've come here, um, like someone sent me a message. In fact, it was Raj himself from Atlanta. And he said that it's a land of opportunity, right? Um, I've seen it for myself in people where um, anything that is evolution, but that is actually positive, it's like futuristic. The word would be um, to do with evolving or helping society to move forward. So, in the same way, your wellness business that you're doing is very important, and it's also, I feel that it can be established here. However, yes, I agree with you that the focus that you have taken, that you could possibly begin with people of Indian origin, the diaspora out here, which I think is a good start uh, because you could probably understand and equate with them better. Otherwise, like I said, you would need to understand the American culture, their psyche, etc., uh, what really drives them and what really bothers them. So, unless you don't really catch up with them and understand them, maybe, I don't know. But at the same time, like I told you, uh, certain things are universal. You drink water, you quench your thirst anywhere in this world. Uh, you you scratch someone, it hurts, the person's going to yell, right? So there are certain very basic uh, uh, reactions to any kind of an impulse, and so therefore, um, let's put it this way: if you saw that when I was responding to the drivers, etc., I've never met them before, but it was just simply locking into an empathy zone with them. Okay, so I feel that the business that you're doing, which is wellness, um, you yourself would be are in a positive disposition, and therefore you would be, let's say, very well placed in uh, understanding how they can be brought into a positive zone by empathy, right? By empathy. And it was very interesting to learn from you while we're having dinner today that you seek a lot of it in spirituality, right? In calming. And like I told you about, of course, the other thing also is that one has to be conscious, especially in uh, uh, foreign land, that religion and spirituality needs to be uh, spoken of or enunciated in a way that it comes across in an objective form, not a subjective form. It shouldn't come across like you're kind of imposing a certain religious doctrine, right? So the way I look at it, a mantra is nothing but when you recite it, it generates certain vibrations and waves. And those vibrations and waves have a calming effect on you, or they have whatever impact they're supposed to have on you. And when looked upon in that perspective, yes. Uh, so I'm happy you've come here. And tomorrow I would expect that you would be, as you've seen, of course, this I would like to also, okay, before say anything more, what is your impression of United States having not been here for about 3 4 days?
My impression is that people here have integrity and they embrace different cultures, which is great. Um, they do not care about how you look or you know what culture you belong from or what place you belong from. They treat you equal, which is great, and this is what I've seen. This brings productivity. This brings a lot of a feeling of uniting. It has a uniting effect. So I think that's great, and looking forward to having maybe starting something here. So this is my impression, basically, that they promote unity. That's it. That's great.
Right, right. Um, when did you first think of actually coming into the US?
Well, I always wanted to travel. I always wanted to see this country because my brother is here. But I never knew that this is going to happen this way. So the first time I thought was when I got selected for Indo-American Leadership Award. Yeah, that was the first time I thought maybe, yeah, why not? Why not go and receive it? So that was the first time, but I really did not have plans to otherwise, do business here. But as things progressed, I thought maybe, because wellness is important everywhere. It's a universal concept, and I see that people here also respect it and embrace it even in a much better way. So that is when I thought that, oh, this has scope. That was the
Okay,
first time, but now it's the opposite. I think it has more scope here.
all right. I would encourage you to tomorrow first sense and feel the atmosphere, who are there, what's happening, and from there you express yourself, where you're coming from, what drove you to doing this business, um, whatever little you've achieved, whatever you achieved, and how do you think you would use this platform to achieve your goals and targets and objectives. And it would be nice if you could also, if not tomorrow, but in some time, quick time, develop a business plan in terms of what kind of revenue you can earn, uh, how many customers or how many, I won't call them patients, it's not the right word, how many souls you can sort of uh, bring a certain equilibrium or equanimity inside themselves. And at the same time, like I've told you, the work that you already done, get the citations from those people, and start also developing certain metrics. Okay, like I showed you, I have taken the meter, the pollution meter, and I've taken my pulse rate, and I've taken my sugar levels. Now today, I showed you exactly that the pollution is near zero, my pulse is close to 65, and I've gone hypo. And in front of you, I've had ice creams. Now I can demonstrate to you effectively, whether it's in Chandigarh or whether it's in Delhi or in Calcutta, if I were to have that ice cream, my sugar levels would be 220. I know it for a fact. Okay, my pulse would be about 80, 82. So uh, it's not just got to do with pollution; it's also got to do with your mental equilibrium, and that's where you come in. And I would say that, and this is something where you would need to come back to me, that your business or your occupation is proactive. Whereas, what does it mean? That before guy falls ill, actually seriously ill, because illness in the body doesn't come first; it comes second. The first illness comes in the mind, right? So if you attend to the mind, the body automatically starts to help itself and stays stationary. is okay. Would you agree with that statement?
True, I will. And it's not just the mind. I mean, of course, we can look at it as a whole, but if we have to divide it, we will say that the problem arises in the energy body, where which is based on our morals and beliefs and values. So, like you gave your example, so it is happening because of your moral beliefs, and because there is no moral conflict, and because whatever is happening in your life right now is incongruent with your values and beliefs, that directly impacts the strength of your energy body. So that is one aspect of your mind that needs strength. So we how we solve problems, if we have to solve a diabetes problem, of course in a proactive way, we will first of all suggest the person to look into his life and see what are the moral dilemmas he's facing, because the moral dilemmas actually create a restriction in the focal points, in the chakras that we call them, and the focal points, and then the life energy is not able to flow in the body nicely. So, like throughout. So that is what the first suggestion is, because it's not about the mind. Mind is the fourth layer, which contains the thoughts and feelings, which is a very complex part. But the energy part is very simple, very straightforward. So when you have moral dilemmas, you have restrictions in the focal points. So yeah, I would totally agree with it. If we have to see it as a whole, like if we just call it mind, then yes, of course it's a mental problem. But if we have to go further and see what part of mind we're talking about, then it's the energy body. So that's why it directly impacts your diabetes, especially things like that, because all the chronic problems are a result of the restriction in the focal point. So that is what we first of all see and try to solve in a person. The moral dilemmas need to be yeah, eliminated.
I like your explanation very much. It's logical and it's well thought of. When did you first think of taking up this business or this line of occupation? Which age? What drove you to it?
Yeah. So I was 15 when I first thought of wellness, and I just wanted to improve my health, my mental health, my physical health. I was not a tragic person or something. It's just that I was very curious. I had a lot of questions. Why do a person get sick at the first place? And all those things that normally people don't ask at that age. I don't know how, but I had those questions and I had to solve them. And then I researched. I read a lot of books, and especially ancient literature. Indian ancient literature, and I came across Upanishads, I came across Bhagavad Gita, and I fortunately came across people who teach Bhagavad Gita in a very structured way, in a way that normally you do not get to receive. So I was very fortunate in that way, and then I got connected to people who were actually doing it in a way that would suit the logical mind of today, the Western mind. And then I researched about it, and I saw that the West has actually started doing research on these literatures, and not just in the Indian literature, but also all cultures all across the globe. And fortunately, we can now finally see that all the cultures say almost the same things, and we try to connect the dots now. Like, for example, prana in Hindi is called chi in Chinese
Chinese.
culture. So that's what we've tried to connect the dots now. So that's what I was really fascinated about. That why aren't we imploring enough on such topics which they need the light. We need to bring them in public, and we need to discuss. And in the modern education system, should inculcate, because this is the first question: who am I? If I don't know that, learning about anything else does not make sense. If I know about myself, then I can, live with myself. And then I understood that until and unless I talk about health and wellness, nobody will be interested about discovering themselves, because it has no objective otherwise. So I kind of gave this, I gave importance to this education by giving an objective to it, which was health and wellness. So I saw that doctors are also healing, psychologists are also healing. But a holistic wellness coach, what he's doing is basically looking at the person holistically, not like a physical body separately or a mental body separately. So that is what I was really fascinated about, and I was really amazed that something like this exists, and I can kind of course, I can maybe be a part of it and add to it, because I'm coming from a rich culture and I know that what potential it has. It's just that it's not structured, it's not glamorized, it's just not there right now, and that's unfortunate, I feel. So that's just my humble effort to put it across, and that is why all my achievements are not personal anymore. It's a bigger purpose, and I have a vision in my mind. So that is why I'm here. That is why I'm passionate at the age of 21. Otherwise, of course, I had options in my life. I wanted to pursue a lot of things, but nothing is bigger than this, what I'm doing right now.
So, what were the alternatives that you wanted to pursue, and you didn't then chose this?
Yeah, I wanted to become a motivational speaker. I started as a motivational speaker. I wrote a book because, yeah, of course, I wanted to be on stage and a public speaker and all of that. But that I can do now also. It's just a small part of the whole picture now.
Okay. I'd encourage you to read a book by Dr. Fritjof Capra. It's called Tao of Physics. And what he's done is that he has read up on, he's a physicist, and when he's working in a particle accelerator, collider, where you break up the atom and see what happens when the atom splits. So, and as you know, that an atom is both a particle and a wave, all right, at any time, and so he, to express that moment, he could not express it in conventional Western theoretical terms. So, how, I don't know, but he started reading up on Oriental literature, our spiritual texts, Zen and Chinese or whatever. And he found, in fact, his book, the cover itself has the Shiva Tandav dance as the motif on it. And when asked why, so he said that when you read about Shiva's Tandav dance, it gives you the same sensation as what happens to an atom when it smashes. All right. So he said that I found that Eastern literature, especially our Hindu texts and all that, they actually have a lot of scientific principles. All right. So, and something which I feel is that, our gods and goddesses, and all which we have, are not really gods and goddesses. They are actually certain principles, scientific principles, which are explained in a manner that a common man can understand without having to go into the scientific principles of the whole. And so, therefore, coming back to your story, would you like to sort of continue with this, or would you like to further educate yourself or do a PhD or something and then expand it, or would you like to flow with it as an entrepreneur?
I think the former. I have given a lot of thought to this, and of course, education will never stop. And as I speak, I'm educating myself. As I just sit, I'm educating myself, and of course, reading the text. This is something that I regularly do. So that is obviously a part of it, and that is what makes me work efficiently and say things that are required to be said. So I'm doing that. So of course I'm going to now spread it. Whatever I have, whatever little I have, whatever gets on added, I just spread it.
Right. Yeah, I think I agree with you that education is not just doing a formal education. A continuous process of education by learning every day, every moment of time, and reading. I myself have self-taught myself on many, many aspects. and I think it's better in a sense that if you apply that education also rather than being theoretical, uh, it becomes more real. Okay, so I think uh, I'm confident that you will make something of this visit, and anything that you need to be a success, any support you want, we are there to help you for that. All right, you're most welcome to it at any point of time. And please feel free to ask or discuss or talk anything at any point of time. Don't think that I can't ask this or should I ask this or should I do this or not. Don't hesitate. Hesitation leads you nowhere. So I thank you for coming here now. And I think uh, the way things have gone in the last couple of days, I feel that you are definitely on the right path and we'll make something of it. Okay?
So much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.